and the word I was looking for was lethargic. Hi everybody, welcome to Road of Plenty. I'm Thomas. I just have a few days left of Citroën C4 rental. As I said in my previous video on this car, I rented it while looking for another car, which I already bought now and which I have already posted a video on. Now this is a video to wrap up the experience of the C4. It's been a great little car. It's been very economic in terms of fuel consumption. They had an offer, and this is what they had in store at the moment when I came there, and I, to have to get it on short notice. So, but I'm quite happy for what I got, and if I hadn't had to commute to work, which I didn't do before in my previous job, then I could have been we could have been without the car for a few months. It's not ideal when you live in a house, but we live quite close to public transport, etc. So, but now since I am commuting to work, I just needed a car. Basically, it's too far to commute. You can do it, but it's you're gonna lose a few hours every day. Now, look-wise, I think it's not like a beautiful car, of course, but it's not an ugly car. It's an interesting design, and yeah, it looks pretty cool actually. Talking about the design, sometimes when I look out the mirror, I thought, oh, did somebody run into me? You cannot really see it too well right now because it's such a shitty weather. But sometimes you look out, oh my god, did somebody run into me? Because there's got these creases on the on the body panel, so it looks almost like somebody ran into you when you just look out. It looks as if there's like a dent or something, but it's not. It's all natural on Alfa Romeo Stelvio. Quadrifoglio, okay. No more. I wrote a little note here with things I like and things I don't like about the car. And before going into it, I just say that it's been a great car. I think it's good value for the money for in today's car price market, which is crazy. I will start with the negative parts first, and then I can end it on a positive note. So there's always something negative with the car. So now let's start with the start-stop function and the lane keep assist. Now I don't use the lane keep assist as such in the car. Maybe in 10 years, 15 years I will start using lane keep assist, I don't know. But for me, driving is about keeping the car wherever you want to keep it, and same thing, I don't use cruise control, so maybe the lane keep assist is working better if you're using the cruise control, I don't know. But every time you start up the car, it's defaulting to lane keep assist, so you always have to go into the menu and turn it off. And you don't only have to turn it off in the menu, you also have to confirm that you want to turn it off every time you start up the car. And sometimes you forget about this. It's in the same place as the start-stop function. So start-stop function is another thing that on this car, I'm not against start-stop function. I just want to tell you, I'm not against start-stop function. It can be everything that is saving fuel, and it's good, I guess. But sometimes, if you just stop for a second, it's not going to save you any fuel because it's going to take a little bit of fuel to start the car up again. The start-stop function in this car is very aggressive, and it's very slow to start. So if you come to a junction and you want to get going, okay, now there's a gap, I want to get out. Oh my god, first it takes like a few tenths of a second before the car really starts, and then when you start moving, there's like you start and then boom, and then you get going. So it takes a while before you actually, it's kind of an unpleasant start-stop function. And furthermore, it also kicks in like when you're braking and about to stop, but you haven't really stopped yet. It stops before you stop the car, before the car comes to a complete halt. So, well, the start-stop function is not good. The lane keep assist I want to mention. So, in the beginning I didn't have a clue, so I just drove around, and I was thinking it was so often that I got too close to the you know, that I almost left my lane. I can understand this is not me driving. This is not how I usually drive. And then it seems like as if the lane keep assist is actually pulling you towards the lines. And then when it gets to close to the lines, that's when it starts adjusting. I mean, for me, it's a crazy system. I might have read in a thread somewhere that it works fine if you use it paired with the cruise control, but I don't know why the two functions would be interconnected. Other than if you like using the lane keep assist, you probably like using the cruise control also. Enough about that. Steering feel. Now we'll get to into the positive. But steering feel is it's not good. It's very numb. It feels very spongy. I can't express it in any other way. The steering has got this resistance almost, and it's like driving around. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like the steering at all. It's not good in high speeds. It's not good in low speeds. So for this car, it would be perfect to have a very light steering, like you have in, like, for example, I had in the Fiat Panda. It is a little bit like a strutting around car. You know, it's nice to go around town because otherwise it's very controllable and easy to handle it in, you know, when you go in parking garages, etc. But the steering is not. I cannot sit with one finger and do the steering. I know you shouldn't do that, but I do that anyway. So that's a bit of a shame. You know, I compared to my previous car, I kind of get like my hand here is if I drive for a long time, I get almost tired in my hand, because in my wrist, because I have to put so much effort into making these small adjustments. Okay, steering not the best. Another thing with the steering or with the road holding or the chassis control is that the car doesn't really feel all that control. If you drive on a curvy road, which I have this curvy road, and I'm not on the way to work now, by the way, but when I drive to work, driving on this curvy road, I'm used to. I've been driving Alfa Romeos lately, and they're all like, if you feel that your speed is too high in the corner, or if you want to change, if you want to brake in the middle of the corner just to, you know, adjust for something, you have a meeting and you need to go a little bit further out, and you can always do that without unsettling the car. With this one, you're really unsettling the car if you are starting to change. If you start changing your rate of turn in turn, or start braking in the turn and something like that. This is me talking about, you know, if you do a little bit of spirited driving, it doesn't really, it feels as if the car doesn't really like that. And I've had it one or two kind of unpleasant moments where I thought I would almost drive off the road without really driving too fast. So, okay, another thing is that the brakes are a bit jerky. Not when you drive around like this, but same thing like which I had with the Stelvio. So when you're about to come to a complete stop, it's like boom. And that combined with the suspension being a bit soft, it means that you kind of almost come to stop, and then you kind of boom, boom. You kind of get this I don't know, feeling of strutting around a little bit when you're about to come to a stop. On our new car, the Peugeot, the brakes are completely perfect. It's a plug-in hybrid. It's a hybrid, so you can come to a complete stop in full harmony without any jerks. I don't know what's so difficult how it can be so difficult. It feels as if now this is the second car. I mean, the Stelvio was the same, not in the same way, but a similar way, and I don't know how difficult it can be. I mean, this to make good and smooth brakes. Okay. Another thing that is a bit annoying, or something that I am not so happy about, is the lack of cabin coziness. So This one has got the white headliner, and it makes the car, it doesn't feel cozy, you know. I don't understand why people, why manufacturers, usually in non-sport sport models, you know, they have white roof liner. When are the manufacturers going to understand that this black headliner is going to make the car feel more solid and more cozy? It can't be more expensive to make it a black headliner. Now, the Citroën C4, I don't know about the other Citroëns, but you cannot even configure it with the black headliner. So that in combination with the no real ambient lighting, well, it has this ambient, they call this ambient light, I think, that you have around the instrument, but it's not cozy ambience, it's cold ambience. It's not a place that you just want to continue spending time in. One thing that's quite interesting is this instrument panel, because it's kind of rubbery. It's got this kind of rubbery material. Now, I'm not sure if this material, it feels a little bit as if it in the future will suffer from sticky finger syndrome. I will give it the benefit of a doubt, but it feels as if this is a car that will stand out in the sun, which it will do in the, you know, France and so on in the summer. I'm afraid it's gonna start being sticky. Into the more positive parts, the ride comfort for this size of car, the comfort you get from the suspension is really excellent. That comfort might in turn be part of the reason why it's not the best car to handle, but it is a very comfortable car. The seats are also comfortable. The seats don't really look too comfortable, but they are very comfortable. They're quite nice also with the stitching. They look nice, but they don't look too comfortable, but they are comfortable. I keep banging on about tilting of the seat. You don't have too much tilt. You can tilt it by, basically, the only way of tilting it is by moving it down. And then you will get some more tilt. I don't know about how it would be on a long trip, but on a shorter journey, they are very comfortable. I mean, on my commute, they have been perfect. Okay, fuel consumption. Well, my fuel consumption has been lower than expected. Not by much, but I thought that I would have about 4.5 liters per 100 kilometers going to and from work. I've been about between 4.2 and 4.4, so almost down there. And I screwed up the last recording when I was trying the sport mode, but the sport mode is probably going to be more or less efficient, but you can actually use the manual and then you can get some more efficiency out of it. So I think the sport mode is it's not going to be too bad if you use the manual shifting. Still, now my average consumption so far on the car, I think it's 4.7 liters per 100 kilometer, and on the entire duration of my my rental. So that's also very good. That includes quite a lot of small trips. I think if you will go out and take it out on motorways, drive around 110, 120 kilometers an hour, the fuel consumption will go up. So let's see. I still have quite a lot of. I have half a tank left, and I don't want to give the car away or give the fuel away because I got it with almost an empty tank. So I'm going to return it with an empty tank. Let's see if I will do a longer trip. Let's see if we can get that one in. Okay, so I'm almost home now. Been on this see my friend on this round trip. So 280 kilometers almost, or a bit plus, maybe 285 when I get home. About 5 liters per 100 kilometers, because that's exactly 5.0 liters per 100 kilometers on this round trip, which I have averaged 86 kilometers an hour on. So been driving different roads, 80 kilometer hour speed limits, 110, 120. So I've been basically keeping the speed limits, not going faster than that. As predicted, when you drive on motorways, the car will be a little bit more, it will consume, of course, a little bit more because it's a small engine and it's pretty high riding car, so the wind resistance, of course, when you get up to speed, will eventually take its toll. But I'm very pleased. Seat comfort, not bad. I think it's maybe it's not as good as, for example, in our new Peugeot, but pretty okay actually. I mean, even for a longer trip like this, it's been absolutely acceptable. I think you need to go on an even longer trip to actually judge if you can do long trips with it without getting a backache or something, you know. And we're all different, you know. Some are not sensitive at all. I'm quite sensitive to this. So. Fuel consumption is low in this car. This is a petrol car. It's not a diesel, and it's, you know, to be below 5 liters per 100 kilometers is very good. One thing that is really good is that the rear view camera is really excellent. It's got good quality. I thought I would never care about these things, but when you have seen a good rear view camera, you kind of laugh about those with less resolution. Now the Stelvio Alfa Romeo didn't have great resolution, and the Peugeot 508, it's got so bad resolution on the rear view camera that I wonder almost if there's something wrong with it, because it's not really good. What else? Gearbox, I think it's really good in the way that it's programmed. This is I think it's an in-house 8-speed gearbox. The speeds up to 90 kilometers an hour, which I've been driving in mainly. I never see it using the 8th gear, so I think it goes into 8th gear only, you know, when you have reached 100 kilometers or something like that. The nice thing with the gearbox, that both in eco mode and in normal mode, it changes gear exactly where you would change gear yourself. It doesn't go up too early to change gear, because probably it's not, you know, the engine is not torquey enough, so it cannot be in too high gears. And it gears down exactly when you would do yourself if you were driving along. So the gearbox, or the programming of the gearbox, is great. Now in the sport mode, it hangs on to the gears a lot longer, and then the car is quite punchy actually, although it's only got 130 horsepower. I've mostly actually driven the car in, believe it or not, in eco mode, because I think the eco mode, although it makes the car pretty slow unless you push the pedal to the metal, it makes it then, you know, everything comes together. It feels as if the you know, chassis control and the slowness of the car is kind of goes well together. You can still, and also in eco mode you have this kind of, it feels like as if it's coasting when you let go of the gas. It feels really good. You get a good flow driving around in the car. Now there's almost no engine brake, so I'm used to using the engine brake quite a lot, you know, to reduce the speed. Like if you go downhill and you don't want to, you know, use the brakes. But this car, the engine braking is really well, it's not sufficient to brake in it downhill, so you really need to use the brakes quite a lot more than I am used to actually. Rear space, quite okay. You have also this that you can remove, and then you have lower. It's pretty okay, not too much, not too good, but not too bad either. At least you can fold the rear seats. It's got these door sills are quite intriguing, you know. They're cool. I mean, they're a bit cool. It's like on a old Jeep Cherokee or something like that. Makes it not maybe so easy for older people to get in and out of the car, but makes it look pretty cool anyway. Okay, should you buy it? Well, if you want a dynamic car that is engaging to drive, I think this is not the car for you. But if you want a practical, reasonably cheap in today's prices car, and which is extremely comfortable for its size, then I think you should definitely consider this one. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. I don't know what it does to the algorithm, as everybody says, but it would be nice to maybe someday get up to 1,000 subscribers. See you later.